Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. I trust God. In difficult situations, I pray and I trust God. Yet, I get impatient. I don't have patience. Anyone else feel that way at times? And so I've been thinking about it. Why do I get impatient if I trust God? I trust and believe that God cares. I trust and believe that God can act in every situation, bring back a wayward child or grandchild, heal somebody, open a door, break a stronghold in the church, in somebody's life, in my life, open doors for ministry. I believe those things, yet I get impatient. Why? And I realize it's because I don't really trust God's timing. Some prayers, in my opinion, should be answered now. Better yet, yesterday they should have been answered. And there's this delay in God answering. And so I get impatient. And I believe with all my heart that my impatience, and this is just me, maybe it's not you, my impatience comes because of my view of time. I see time differently than God sees it. And I think he should act now. There's a disconnect between my view of time and God's view of time. Now, Jesus, Galatians chapter 4, verse 4, Paul tells us that Jesus was born in the fullness of time, just the perfect time he was born. But if I were a Jew living, say, 2 centuries before that, waiting for the Messiah, I would have thought, man, now is the time for the Messiah to come in my generation. And there would have been 2 centuries of waiting before God's fullness of time came. And then one day, boom, it happened. Suddenly, in the fullness of time, Jesus was born. God in human flesh. Another example. Israel, the people of Israel, were in bondage in Egypt for 400 years plus. Suddenly, Moses sees the burning bush, and God appears. I would have, if I was one of those people in Egypt, say about the year 300, for me it would have been like after 5 years, say, God, we're praying for you to deliver us. We have your promises. Let's go. It's time. But God had a time. Jesus is coming back. He's coming back. It's definite. He definitely is coming back, and he's going to right every wrong and establish his kingdom, will cover the earth like the waters cover the sea. My opinion, now would be a good time. Have you read the news? Are you aware what's going on in the world? Hello, God, now would be a good time for you to return and set everything in order. Yet the clock keeps ticking. There is a fullness of time. And when Jesus comes, it'll be like lightning. Suddenly, boom, the answer's here. That's it. Wow. Paul is in prison. I'm not sure what he expected. He'd been beaten, put in chains in an inner cell. He's locked up there with Silas. He's praying, and they're singing hymns. I'm sure he believes God can deliver him. What I would have been praying is that God would send that angel that he sent to Peter when Peter was in the prison and who led him out of the prison. I'll be praying, God, remember that angel you sent to Peter in Jerusalem a number of years ago? I need that angel now. Send that angel and you can get us out of this prison. That's exactly what I would have been praying. Or maybe, based on Paul's experience, I would be thinking, well, maybe tomorrow I'll be brought before the magistrates. I'll tell them I'm a Roman citizen, and all this will change, and they will release me. But what happened was beyond what even Paul or Silas could have imagined, beyond what they could have imagined. God, we can't put God in a box. Well, he worked this way in the past. He worked in my friend's life in that way. So he's going to work in my life this way. He did that in the past. So he's going to do that now. Now is the time. God, now come. God doesn't work like that. So they're praying and they're singing in prison. Let's pick up the story at Acts chapter 16, verse 26. The first word is key. Suddenly, there was such a violent earthquake that the foundations of the prison were shaken. At once, all the prison doors flew open and everyone's chains came loose. Suddenly, that word has a sense of unexpectedly. Unexpectedly. God answers unexpectedly at a time and a manner we don't expect. We can't anticipate. We can't plan. Suddenly, Jesus is born. Suddenly, Jesus will return. And suddenly, there's an earthquake and the foundations of the prison are shaken. An earthquake shakes the prison. I would have been praying for that angel. God did it in a different way. Are you open to the fact that God can work in your life in a different way than he's worked in other people's lives with the same situation? Are you open to the fact that God is going to answer your prayer suddenly at a time when you least expect it? Not according to your timetable or my timetable, but it will be suddenly. Wow, the answer's here. So from this, we learn a few realities. And by the way, all the chains fell off. Paul was praying, and it impacted all the people around him. We learn a few realities. Number one is God doesn't necessarily act in the same way or in similar situations. Someone can tell me this is what God will do, and I don't know. God works unexpectedly and suddenly. The second is God acts suddenly when we least expect it. It could be today. It could be before I finish this video. It could be tomorrow. It could be in 10 years. It's suddenly only to us. God always has the perfect time. He sees the whole puzzle, all the pieces, and at the right time he drops that piece in place. Perfect timing, fullness of time, the appointed time, the appointed way. So we do our part. We trust and we pray and we be busy about the Lord's work. Trust not just that he will answer, but that he will answer in his perfect time and in his perfect way. And we wait and pray. And so today, remember that word suddenly. I know some of you are praying for things that are on your heart for a long time. Remember that word suddenly, and it'll give you the patience, because in just a little while, he who is coming will come and not delay. God bless you.